Hey everybody, it's Kevin Wadsworth from NorthStarBadCharts.com, and I'm going to make a series of podcasts here for you to look at and get an idea of the techniques and the methods that we use for coming up with our technical analysis forecasts on the website and on Twitter that you'll have seen. And we're going to run through some examples, some case histories. It's all very well saying that price is going to go up to this value or that value or whatever, but without evidence to show that the techniques are working, then I guess you don't really know how much faith to put into those techniques. So we're going to run through quite a lot of different case histories one by one with different podcasts. I'm going to start off with Bitcoin. I'm going to stop the video so you don't see my ugly face, and you can hopefully still hear me talking. So here we go with Bitcoin. And with Bitcoin, we've got here a series of Bitcoin charts documenting the calls that we made along the way in real time, by way of kind of evidence of what we were saying at the time. So it shows how we called the bull market breakout when most people really weren't interested, and in fact giving warnings of impending large corrections at the time. We've seen gains of hundreds of percent with Bitcoin, and this was one of my sort of early calls for the Bitcoin bull market breakout. You can see how we broke out down here at somewhere, I don't know, it's somewhere around about $7,000 or $8,000. This post was made when we were just below $9,000, and we just confirmed the edge of a bullish arc. Not just a bullish arc, but also a bull flag, which is a very typical technical chart pattern. And you can see the flag pole and the flag. You can calculate upside targets, and when you get these touch points on the arc, this is a geometrically perfect arc, by the way. There's no manipulating this to make it artificially fit things. It either fits or it doesn't. You know, you can't just make it fit any points. So it gives added weight of evidence to the bullish pennant and the expectation that we're going to move upwards. And of course, that's what happened. Price broke up out of this arc, continued upwards. And we also have the MACD indicator at the same time, giving a bullish cross just below the zero line. This is a scale here. You can see zero, and we're making a bullish cross just below the zero line, which adds evidence to the idea that price is going to break in an upwards direction, which of course is exactly what it did. If I just go back and scroll down, you can see later on in the bull market, we had progressed out of the arc. We formed another bullish pattern, broken out, bullish pullback, broken out, and yet another bull flag. So we're at around about $33,000, and I just posted another breakout, suggesting that we were going to move up to at least $43,000 pretty imminently. And again, the technical indicators were supportive of a move to the upside. That played out to absolute perfection, and you can see that we hit the target area near $43,000 before pulling back and forming yet another bullish expanding wedge. So that happened. We're at $33,000 here, so at that point, the next target was $55,000 to $60,000, calculated using some fairly straightforward technical analysis techniques, height of the flagpole added to the breakout point, and also other technical analysis techniques that are pointing to that general area just below or around about $60,000. This arc here fulfilled its stated target exactly when we said it would. And so, you know, price advanced to, well, it was around about 58,000 there, and that forecast was fulfilled. And then we pulled back, as you do after you've hit a major target like that. We formed yet another bullish arc pattern, and price at the time was around about 40. What would that be for 50,000? Actually, it says on the right-hand scale. So at 50,000, we were forecasting a breakout, bullish chart patterns and indicators setting up for a move to the upside, up to somewhere around about 65,000 indicated on here. And as you can see, price moved upwards steadily. We got to this decision point here because we were in a rising channel, 57, 58,000. Of course, we broke out of that, made new highs, and we progressed. You can see another way of viewing it here. We were at around about 58,000 at the time, and looking to make new all-time highs. So the arc above completed to perfection, and then attention turned to this support line here, we were able to start highlighting the possibility and then the probability of a large drop. And you can see that the stochastic indicator was forecast to remain high for a while, like it has done in previous examples, before breaking down and signifying a large correction. You see this here, we're at 58,000, showing the possibility of new highs, but that when this support line breaks, a large correction is highly likely. More warnings were issued when we broke below 55,000. So you can see here, we broke out above this line, we made new highs, then we came back down to test the line and broke below it. So we were issuing warnings all the while here and letting people know that things weren't looking good. We then started to build out a sort of a descending megaphone pattern. You can see that here, leading downwards and downwards. The inverted arc was then brought into play with targets of 38,000 or even the bottom of the arc. So you can see this inverted arc here as Bitcoin had hit its highs up around 64, 65,000. And then we identified the rising channel and we identified this bearish inverted arc. So if you're new to the world of technical analysis, you probably think this is all mumbo jumbo, but you can see that all through the progression of Bitcoin to 65,000, we've forecast it getting there. And then when things started to, people at this point, people were calling for 100,000, 200,000, silly stuff, but it just wasn't supported by the technical analysis. And this is where technical analysis really comes into its own, because you can cut through the crap and get to the point. And the point was that the chart was not supporting any imminent move to 100,000. In fact, it was suggesting quite the opposite. And of course, this bearish inverted arc played out beautifully. We came all the way down to the bottom. We were suggesting that a possible panic spike drop was likely all the way down here. And price stabilized near our stated target. We spotted a new arc to guide us back to 42,000. So the stated target down here around about 38,000 or so. And then you can see what happened next. This new arc started to form, and we indicated the first right side touch point at point number 7, suggesting that price at that point was going to go from there up by several $1,000s back to 42,000. You can see what happened next. This was how it progressed. So this was our forecast, point number 7 in August, and then after that price spiked. We said it could come back down and test the arc at any time. It spiked up. There you can see the price extending up to 43,000. And so the story continues towards the sort of bull market ending. So at that point, we need to update the progress of Bitcoin and what happened next. We all know what happened next. This bearish arc. We've broken out, and we're now up to around about sort of 65,000 or thereabouts, isn't it? Between 60 and 65,000. So the story continues. The forecasts have continued to be accurate all the way. There's a bigger picture roadmap of where we think Bitcoin might be going as well. But that's the first story in our first one of our archangels, I suppose you could call them. So that's number 1, and we'll be doing more shortly to demonstrate the power of our technical analysis over at NorthStarBadger.com. Thanks everybody for watching and listening.